I can't even describe how it sounded. I mean, all of heaven had to hear this man singing. Maybe the whole universe, maybe all, I don't know. But again, there are no earthly words to express what I heard. And I could tell he was singing words and there was a melody, but I couldn't understand the words. And then he got to this certain point in his song, and to my surprise, wow, he's singing English now. And I could understand the words. And what he sang was, I gave my all for you. And he sang that much, I understood it, but then he went back into this other language that I couldn't understand. And he seemed to be singing verses, just like we do on earth, because he cycled back into that phrase again that I heard, I gave my all for you. And at that point, that was the most amazing thing that I'd ever heard in my entire life until this next moment. Unbelievable. At this point, everybody, the whole congregation, audience, I don't know what to call them, but all these beings rose up and they sang with this one being up front as a choir. The volume was I don't know, shattering. The harmony was close. The harmony was something I'd never heard before. The clarity of voices. There was no director, but they were absolutely teetotally together. And it was just absolutely amazing. I've heard choirs all over the world. I've sung in choirs. I listen to choirs in recordings. I've never heard anything like this. I've told you I'm a musician. I spotted something, and I realized that the scale, the musical scale in heaven, is longer than the scale on the earth, which creates more opportunities for harmonies. And it was blowing my mind. I just stood there in amazement at what I was hearing. And even the choir, when they sang together, would cycle around and they would all sing, I gave my all for you. And I don't know, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. I was overwhelmed then. It just stopped me in my tracks. And then, as quickly as it started, the song was over and everybody went back down to their original positions. And I remember communicating with some of the beings in this long row of people, and we were having a good conversation. I don't know what we were talking about. I don't think I understood then what we were talking about. It was way over my head. But I remember being fulfilled. I remember being loved. I remember being supported and mostly loved and accepted. I mean, I don't think I've ever felt that way before. And then suddenly something came over me. Words were spoken through me. These words that I spoke next were not my own. I didn't want to say them. But I said, "Thank you very much for this experience, but I have to go now." I didn't want to go. I didn't want to say that. Are you kidding? I didn't want to leave. And suddenly I felt myself being pulled away from God's presence, from Jesus' presence, from the presence of heaven, from the presence of all these beings, holy beings around me. I was being pulled away. What happened next, I think, took only about maybe 3 seconds. But I can't describe everything that happened to me in the next 3 seconds in real time. So I'm going to start the 3 seconds now, and I'll tell you at the end of the 3 seconds that happened to me when those 3 seconds are up. So next, I saw myself traveling through a solid tube of light. That's the start of the 3 seconds. And I could see this light going by me, boom, 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 so fast. Wow. And then I started decelerating. And as I looked around, I realized that that was not light that I was in. Well, it's light, but the light is made up of little bitty dots of light. And there are so many dots of light, and I'm traveling so fast through them that it made it look like I was traveling through a pipe of light on the inside. So here I go from light, solid wall around me to these dots, and I'm slowing down, I'm decelerating. Suddenly I see my galaxy. Then I see my solar system. I can identify it. There it is. Then there's Earth. I'm approaching Earth. I'm still slowing down, but I'm moving fast. And suddenly there's the United States. I can see it. And my city. Wow, there's my house. There's my roof. And I saw myself lying in bed. I was hovered over my body at about ceiling height, looking down at my body, seemingly asleep in my own bed. And I very slowly moved from the ceiling level down through my room and merged with my body. And I woke up, and I was cold. I mean, I was cold like I've never experienced cold before.